This is Dr. Harry Anderson. I'd like to visit just a moment about mares and foals and how you should feed them. Mares and foals have different nutrient requirements. Now, when the mare is pregnant, we look at a mare's nutrition program during gestation and lactation separately. We even separated out mid-gestation. The late gestation is different than during lactation. During most of gestation, a mare's nutrient requirements are not increased very much. That foal grows at a very slow rate from conception to about 3 months from foaling, maybe 3.5 months from foaling, when all of a sudden the growth rate in that uterus starts to increase. That foal starts to grow at a very rapid rate, and all of a sudden you're not feeding just one animal anymore. You're feeding one and a tenth, 1 1/4, etc., until all of a sudden you're feeding a full-size baby that's growing at probably a pound a day or more at the very end of gestation. So what you do is you go along, and then there's a two-pronged thing you have to think about in late gestation. One is their nutrient requirements go up, but in nature, that fetus, that foal, taking up so much room in the abdomen, her feed intake goes down. So you have to allow for that suddenly for less hay intake as that foal develops. Now, some of these mares I know get very big and they maybe can still eat as much hay as they need. But here's where you have to increase the amount of protein, minerals, and things by about 50% in your supplemental program, and also be more conscious of the digestibility of that hay, of what you're feeding. And if you have a low digestibility hay, you need to really increase the digestibility enhancing part of the program, which is a supplemental thing that we've talked about in other aspects. Now, once that mare foals, she's going to lactate. That takes as much energy as the last part of gestation. So you keep feeding her that same way, probably to about 60 or 90 days out into lactation. And during this time, you also then start to feed that foal. And the more you feed that foal, and you need to feed that baby a very dense nutritional package also, so they get the nutrients such as the trace minerals and vitamins and things that they need, and let them eat along with mom, and get them to eat that supplemental program as early as you can. And we have foals that we have documentation on eating as little as 3 days of age, eating with mom from there on. And if you'll do that and start feeding them at basically all of the supplemental program they will eat, especially if it's an extruded product, you can let them eat all they want up until they eat about 4 pounds a day of this highly concentrated, real dense nutrient package, along with all the hay and the milk they want. And you'll find that you'll develop a very rapidly developing foal, both mentally and physically.